Yo, 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 what up, OGs? Welcome back to another episode of the OG Sessions podcast, episode 63, going down right now. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Joey Allen.
What's up? I'm happy to be here. It's going to be a good time.
The mullet's going strong.
Thank you.
Still pushing. Another week with the mullet.
It's getting long.
I like it.
I know.
Still haven't surfed with it yet, right?
I know. Got to get it bleach blonde. That's what I'm waiting on.
Well, we need some sun, dude. It's fucking hurricaning outside.
It's been
right
raining
now.
all week,
dude. So, yeah, hopefully we can get some sunshine, get out there, play some golf, surf a little bit, get all that shit popping. So, before we get started with this episode, I wanted to talk about, some of the things you got going on with your life. Last time me and you chatted, I think it was off camera, but it was, we were talking about you're getting some TikTok moves, some things hopping out. What's going on?
I just re-signed another contract with a spider farmer. Shout out Spider Farmer. I just re-signed with them for another 4 months. They sent me some product and got some cool videos coming on. They got some cool products. I'm excited for you guys to see it. So go check it out. Joey's Plants. Got some stuff coming.
Yeah, dude, you're crushing it. And you already did you said you re-signed with them, so you already did we kind of talked about that. God, I don't even know what episode that was. That had to have been definitely last season.
Yeah, first season.
But it was but when that happened, that was a crazy deal that went down. I mean, for you, it was like that was your first big.
It's just crazy, like the fact that I'm making moves like that on TikTok. Like,
yeah.
and for plants, like I never thought that I'd take that route. But
no, you're crushing it,
fun.
bro. Well, I mean, when you've got the amount of followers that you got, and you're over there making all these different videos are like some of them hitting 1 million. Some of them
once you get 1 million views on TikTok, I don't know, it feels good. So you want to keep chasing that.
And you've done that multiple times.
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah,
like a lot. So I mean, it's you're getting used to that feeling now. We're gonna have to hit that 10 million soon. Yeah. What's the most you got? What's still? It was like 4 million or something.
That was actually on Instagram. So I started an Instagram off of my TikTok. And I got like 4.6. It might be at 5 million now. But
let's plug this shit, man. So Instagram
is Joey's Plants, but Plants has 2 S's. On TikTok, it's just Joey's Plants.
Joey's Plants.
No space.
I can't believe you got that at name. It's crazy. You got Joey's Plants on TikTok after TikTok had been out for a hot minute. And then I got OG Sessions on TikTok way after you got the Joey's Session or Joey's Plants one.
Yeah.
So
how do we get our names? It's just like TikTok, it's always taken up.
Dude, TikTok, y'all are dropping off gems for us, man, over
Appreciate
here, dude. TikTok's been granting us some good things. And the podcast does really well on TikToks too. So shout out TikTok. It's getting a lot of hate right now, and I don't even really know what all that's about or what's going on about that. So if it is bad, then I guess fuck you, TikTok. But
yeah, no free shout outs.
Yeah, no free shout outs. I don't even know, but hey, they've done some good shit. But I mean, also so is Instagram, so is all these other platforms. But it's not those platforms, it's the people that have been supporting us. So shout out to all you guys. Shout out to everybody that's been pushing the pod. Shout out to everybody that just, even if you just drop a like or a comment or something small as that, it's like that's pushing.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, you guys are doing the thing. So let's jump right into this episode, man. I'm super hyped on this one. I know Joey's super hyped on this one. Everyone, please give a round of applause for the man himself, Dvid. What's up, bro? What's up?
What's going on? Happy to be here.
Dude, I'm happy to have you, bro.
Thanks, man.
How you feeling?
Pretty good, man. Happy with everything you guys are doing and glad to be part of it, man. Glad to be here on this episode.
Yeah, so you're the first Hispanic artist that we've had on the show. I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's been I was looking back through most of the episodes. We don't have anybody else's. They might have a little bit of Hispanic in them, but they're not actually dropping Spanish music.
I got it.
Yeah, man.
Super cool, man.
We're
I feel honored.
Yeah.
Privileged, actually. Yeah, heck yeah, representing.
So this is this episode. Well, this you as a person were put onto us by a fan favorite from the podcast. Someone we've had on, I believe, it's only been 2 times, I believe, but it's Donnie Blow. Oh. Shout out Donnie Blow. He's a fucking man, dude. He's crushing it, doing his thing.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, after his episode, right before he was about to leave, he's like, "Hey man, I got to put you on this artist, Dvid." And yeah, dude, once I started listening to a couple of your songs, I was like, okay, you see the videos, you see all the stuff, you're like, okay, this dude's putting out some pretty high quality shit. Might have to check him out.
Hey, thanks.
So yeah, dude, pleasure to have you on the show.
Hey man, pleasure to be here. Like I said, man, thanks so much for having me. Really excited with everything you guys are doing too, and just happy to be here representing it on this episode, man. Thanks so much.
Tell me about the name Dvid. So it's Dvid.
Yeah, Dvid, like David without the A. The name really came from my upbringing. You know, like when you're in the house and like your mom or your aunt or somebody gets upset at you, they just call you by your legal name or that second name, or they use your whole name. You know what I mean? So with me, it was like when my aunts or somebody in the house, the maternal figure, you know, that I had at the time, whether it was my grandma or whatever, they really wanted my attention, but it was like from a place of care. They would just say David, you know, instead of my first name or everything else. So I felt like to pick a name as an artist, you know, you think that name's going to be used, is going to be used by people at shows or when you meet them or whatever it is. And I just wanted to feel at home no matter where I was. And what better way than by hearing that name said that way, you know? So that's why I spelled it without the A. That way, because if it had the A on there, then people would say David. But without the A, now it's kind of forcing you to pronounce it how, you know, Spanish people pronounce it, which is Dvid. You know,
I like that.
And so that way I feel kind of like that home warmth, I guess, from, you know, whether it's in a podcast or radio interview, you know, wherever it is that I'm at, if somebody's saying Dvid, I'm already feeling that positive connotation with it, you know. So
it would feel weird calling you David. Like, you know, it wouldn't even come out right.
Yeah.
Do people
wouldn't
call
feel
you
the same.
Do people ever call you David?
No. I guess maybe growing up a little bit, like when people like maybe a substitute teacher saw that was my second name or something, they would say David, but no, not really. It's pretty much everybody that knows me and is close enough, they'll say the V or yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah, and I like that backstory. That's really, I mean, because it's kind of smart to use that kind of wordplay. Because when I originally saw it, I thought it was Dvid. I didn't think anything else. You know, you just kind of read it and you see Dvid. You know,
there you go.
But yeah, man, and I've never really heard of an artist that has a name kind of similar to Dvid like that, where it's, I mean, if it is Dvid, it's usually spelled David, like you said.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really unique, and I think that's a dope little backstory to it.
Thanks, man. I definitely wanted to feel like myself also. You know, a lot of times when you think of an artistic name or something, a lot of people kind of, I wouldn't say necessarily hide. Everybody has their preference, but it's kind of like a character almost, you know, like they make up a name, you know, or something. But with me, I wanted it to be something that, you know, was really me, and I felt like had been me for a while, and it's part of my identity. So David.
Yeah,
Nice.
dude, that's dope. So let's talk about a little bit of the background behind, you know, just yourself and growing up and things like that. So obviously you got a pretty solid thick accent on you.
A little bit of one, yeah, for sure.
It's a good thing, bro. I mean, shit, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, you know, chicks dig the accent, and also it's like it's great for the type of music you're making. You
Thanks.
sound just like, you know, a lot of these, you know, super big time Spanish, you know, artists and things like that. Obviously, I'm guessing I remember when you first came in here, you said that English is your second language.
Yeah.
Right. So, where are you from, dude? Like, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I was born in Medellin, Colombia.
Nice.
City that Pablo's from. So I was born there. I lived there till I was about 8 or so, and then I moved to the States. It's actually a pretty cool story. My grandmother is like my hero because she came here and left 6 kids behind in Colombia with no plan. Crossed the border illegally, married somebody here that she fell in love with, became a citizen of the United States, and then started getting each of her kids back one by one to the United States through the immigration process, everything,
Wow.
you know, legally. And it's crazy because when she came here across the border, you know, she left kids, you know, but now that she's coming back and getting each of them individually, now she's not just getting the kids back, because now the kids have families. Now they have kids of their own. So now I'm not just getting my daughter back, you know, I'm getting my daughter and her 2 kids that she has now, you know, so, and she never rested until all of us were here, you know, so shout out to my grandma for that.
Shout
That's
out,
my
Grandma.
hero.
Dude, that
definitely.
is so sick, bro.
Definitely,
That's
bro.
I mean, that takes so much courage and just like bravery to fucking get out there and do that.
Bro,
like,
that's what keeps me pushing, bro, because every time I've like hit like some type of obstacle or a wall, let's say that I'm thinking like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna get up through this, I immediately think of her.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, bro,
God, dude, that is crazy.
like there's nothing that you're doing that wall that you're facing that compares remotely
To what she did.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I feel like me not pushing through that is like I'm not doing her justice. It's like she did that so I could do this, you know, and that's kind of part of the reason why I started like, you know, really like dove into my music career and just took it the way that I took it, because one day, man, I was sitting in an office. I had a good job, good career, you know, benefits, everything, like corporate America. I'm doing good, like had a, you know, a very nice house. I'm chilling, and I'm just sitting in this desk and I'm doing this work, and she just keeps coming back, you know, in my mind, and I'm thinking, she didn't sacrifice everything. She sacrificed, crossed the border, risked her life, got all this so that I could just be in an office.
Yeah.
She did that so I could follow my dreams. So what am I doing? This is not my dream,
crazy.
you know? And then I just decided to, do that. Everything I do now is kind of like respecting that, So I have to go for my dream because that's,
Why did she leave Colombia?
Opportunity, man.
Yeah.
Opportunity.
Well, what's it like?
Different situations.
Was it difficult to find that opportunity?
We definitely, we could definitely come from humble beginnings. We didn't live in the best part of town, so obviously violence, a lot of different things that we were trying to get away from. And that we experienced, obviously, while she was living here, we experienced it over there. So, like I said, I was able to move here when I was like 8. So I didn't get to experience too much of it and, grow up with it. But every year I would go back and visit, and kind of get reminded of, the opportunities that I was able to get here because of the sacrifices that she made. So that's kind of where that started. But when I got here and I started learning English as a second language, that was an adventure on its own.
How old were you at that time?
When I came here, I was 8, 9. Yeah.
Okay, so you're like, you know Spanish pretty well at that point. So you're probably just like, and you're obviously very young. I mean, that's got to be very difficult to bring on another language, right? I mean, you're kind of still learning Spanish. I mean, I'm still learning English.
Yeah.
Bro, but like, I mean, even in high school and shit, you're still learning the actual language itself. Yeah. But it's got to be very difficult because obviously with you making Spanish music, you still know both languages.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I would find that to be
Was it hard
challenge.
Learning English? Because I know English is hard to learn. Like, there's so many stupid rules.
Bro, honestly, it wasn't necessarily hard. I think any language is difficult to learn when you don't know it. But for my personal experience was like some of the rules, like in Spanish, a lot of the rules are kind of like here's the rule for this and it goes all across the board. Here's the rule for this and it kind of goes all across the board. But like for me, some of the struggles were like, okay, you see a dog and it's a dog. And you see a group of dogs, and then you add an S to it. Mm-hmm. Dogs.
Yeah.
Plural.
Simple.
Yeah.
Right? Cat.
Cats. Oh, here we go.
Very simple.
I know where you're going.
Right? You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
Deer.
Deers.
No.
Exactly.
Why not? Why is it not deers? It's deer. Okay, but why? Because for that word it is. Okay, fine. Goose. Is it goose? Geese. So now it's geese. Now you switched it up on me. Like, what's going on here? So, I guess learning.
So is moose meese?
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly where I was at. So learning kind of like the things that you guys are saying, no, it's not for this, it's for this, was an adventure on its own. But everything has its quirks, man, and I wouldn't have it any other way, man. Like I said, this country and everything opened so many opportunities for me that go with the language too. So I'm excited. And honestly, because of me learning English, it helped me love music, man. Because I'm coming from, I'm 8 years old. So I'm still finding myself what I like and everything. And obviously in Colombia, there's music. But the music in Colombia and the Spanish music is stuff that I'm hearing all the time. So it never really sparked an interest in me until I got here. And I'm hearing like when my uncle picked me up from the bus station the first time I got to Florida and stuff, he's bumping like Ja Rule and Ashanti. You know what I'm saying? Like Fat Joe, you know what I'm saying? Like turn the fucking mic on, mic is on, like those type of songs, Foolish, like all these records. And I'm like, what is this? Like, I don't know what they're saying, but I'm fucking with all this. Like, this is amazing.
The beat, you like the beat and the bass.
Exactly, everything. Because see, in Spanish music, it's like some of the genres, it's not bad. I love it too. But and they follow a very similar, progress. Like reggaeton, you're gonna have the dembow, but hip hop is very different because you can call a song hip hop, and not every hip hop song is gonna have the same percussion variety in it, or the same, So that's something that I really, gravitated to, and that's really what pushed me into music, man. Just learning the language and then understanding what's going on, and then not only that, but finding out that, like, in Spanish, there's Spanish rap and there's wordplay and everything like that, but there's no wordplay like in my opinion, from what I learned, is that in the English language, like the metaphors, the similes, the double entendres, like all of that, it was art to me. So I gravitated to it a lot. And that's the reason why the first type of music that I started making was in English, because it was something that I really liked and really enjoyed, and I wanted to make the type of music that I like listening to. Mm-hmm. But the more I started making it, it just kind of started diving more into myself, and here we are now, about to come out with a Spanish album in July.
Good shit, bro. Yeah, you're crushing it, man. Thank you. I did want to speak on it a little bit. So, you come to America, you start making all this music and all these things. Yeah. What age were you when you first, let's say, dropped your first project or anything like that?
So actually, my first project was probably when I was fresh out of high school. I made my first project, started making like songs and actually recording them. I really got into rap because of a friend. Actually, shout out to Duke, Bunduk. He's from Sudan, and we met in middle school, and he rapped, and there was like a talent show coming up, and he didn't want to be like the only person rapping on the stage, so he had another friend, and he was like, "Hey, can you rap with us?" And I'm like, "Bro, I don't know how to rap or write. Like, I'm barely learning English right now. Like, you know what I mean?" And he's like, "Oh, no worries. I'll show you. I'll write it for you and stuff." And then it was like a breakdown that, he showed me how to do and everything like that. And from there on, I was just like hooked. And then we performed it in the school, and everybody reacted to it, great. It was like they could resonate with it. I was able to kind of like tell a message that I wanted to tell and see how people resonated with that particular message. And from there, bro, I was hooked.
Were you nervous
started making
on
my
stage?
Own. I wasn't that nervous on stage. I've always been okay with like people, in that sense. Feel like energy wise, wasn't too nervous about it. But the music part I was. Yeah. The being on stage, not so much, but the music part, it made me a little bit nervous because it wasn't something that I was, used to doing. I wanted to learn more about it, but it was still, beginning process on there. Got put on the spot, bro. But then after that, man, I was hooked, and I started writing my own stuff. And what I did know for sure is that I wanted it to be a certain quality. So I'd make sure that I worked on myself and I worked on my craft enough to get it to a level where I felt like it could compete.
Yeah, dude. I feel like, shit. We were just watching some of your music videos before you came in here just to get a little recap or a little refresher. And like, dude, your production is insane.
Bro, thank you so much.
Not just the visuals and everything like that, but the audio is like,
oh, thank you.
Awesome.
I was looking for a little Vivo tag. I was like, this thing is.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
For real, man. You're crushing it, dude. And where I was going with that last question was, when did you? I know you briefly before we start recording, we're talking about you and Donnie met in a really cool way.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that experience, because what year was this you started making music too, by the way?
This was around really when I put my first serious project that I was out, was in 2020. I think 2020.
Okay,
2019.
so this is like, okay, wow, dude. The fact that you're at, wow.
Actually, no, my bad. 2017, actually, because it was 7/7. So my first project came out 7/7 of 2017, I believe.
Wow.
That's a cool date.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that.
And that was the Perspective project and stuff. But that's how I met Donnie. It was actually working through different producers in the city, because that's another thing that I feel very proud of, being from here. And, well, I was born in Colombia, obviously, but I was raised here. Like I told you guys, I came here when I was 8. So I feel like I'm from here. I was raised here. I'm a Florida boy. You know what I mean? And that was something that was very big to me, too. Me being Spanish, kind of being pulled different directions, like, oh, come down to Miami, come up here to California, like, we got producers, we got this, but I didn't really want to branch too much into that, because there's already so many people doing that, and I wanted to honor where I'm from. So it's like, wait, let me see what producers in Jax are doing stuff right now. What mix and master people are, engineers are here that can give me that same quality that I can say it's coming from here. And when you hear my music, you're hearing Florida, you're hearing Jax. You're not just hearing me. You're the engineer that did it is from here. The producer that did it is from here. The studio may I have recorded that was here.
That's dope. Yeah.
So just finding ways to do that. That's kind of how I met Donnie. We were he worked with a similar producer as well at the time, Bangers Hits.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of him.
Shout out to Bangers as well. And I went to a session with Bangers, and we were working, and Donnie happened to be there too, and he was fucking with the stuff I was doing. I was fucking with the stuff he was doing, and before you know it, the rest is history, man.
Do you guys got anything You know,
we got a couple of things tucked for sure.
I was about to say,
definitely.
I might need to hear a couple of snippets of that
Definitely.
before you get out of here, dude.
Absolutely.
You know, Donnie, when he came on the show, he dropped a couple of unreleased ones on the show, but then he dropped a couple of them, you know, afterwards. And it's so funny sometimes to hear like an artist's unreleased stuff, because there's so many reasons why a song I feel like would be unreleased. Like obviously, perfect timing. You got to wait for, you don't want to just drop it, you know, right when you finish recording it, you know. Also, there could be some fear sometimes that fear is the wrong word, but you know, you don't want to.
Could be fear. I would say
it's
fear.
just different than you have like the fear of like going out of like what you're normally putting out.
The people might not like it.
And you don't want to drop like a song that's like on an album that doesn't go with any of the other songs on the album, obviously. Like, things like that. You know, it's not a bad thing for sure. Yeah, the theme of like you as an artist and things like that. And you know, listen to some of Donnie's unreleased stuff and tons of other artists that have been on the show, their unreleased stuff. It's like crazy, bro. Just to hear like people's versatility and kind of like what they are capable of doing, you know, when they get on certain beats and shit like that. So
things they should be dropping, but they're scared to drop.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've got a little bit of a head start, or not a head start, but like you got a little bit of a leg up on people because you do have the versatility of being able to do two different languages?
I wouldn't necessarily say one leg up or anything. I would definitely consider myself lucky in order to be able to connect with two different sides of the spectrum. But that's kind of why I started doing music in Spanish again, because I realized that I have a responsibility to that. You know, a lot of times I feel like we try to reinvent the wheel, you know, when we're creatives, and we try to put out something that's going to be light or it's going to be receptive. And it's like a lot of times, instead of us looking outside, we need to look within. And it's like, what comes to me naturally? What comes to me naturally that I've been gifted with, that I can do naturally? That's where I can serve. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I felt like if I speak Spanish and I come from this culture and I represent it and it's part of me, and me only doing English music is a disservice to that, because there's messages here too. You know, there's stuff that has helped me. Music has helped me, you know, overcome a lot of things. And if there's somebody out there that can relate to this because it's in a language that they understand it, because it's coming from somebody like them, that's what I want to do.
I like that, bro. That's
you have such a strong mindset. I like
that. Oh, bro, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for real.
Yeah, you seem very level-headed too. Like you know, it's got to be so difficult to go through what you've gone through. I mean, leaving what you know to be home or just normal life, and then coming to the fucking Jacksonville, the Bangham. You know what I mean? Just like, it's like, Duval. I mean, yeah, it's like you're coming to the most like the home of the Florida man is
I'm
here.
Telling you.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's got to just be, it's such a crazy transition, and the fact that you've adapted so well and just done all these, you know, cool things. And it's, first off, I know for me, confidence would be a big issue. Like going to a new country essentially, but not just a new country, but like a totally different culture, and not speaking the same language, I would feel so out of place, and just kind of like I would be very self-conscious of like doing certain things, or even just putting myself out there. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have the confidence that I do now. But you're out here like,
bro, the Florida culture,
bro,
the Florida culture, bro. I would say the Florida culture did that to me. You guys like embrace me. So like, even not being from here and being an outsider is like, I can't really talk for many other states or anything like that, but I just know my personal experience with Florida. Like, I was expected to get that black sheep kind of like, oh, you know, you don't speak the language or nothing. But like I tell you, like, I started going to school here. I was in middle school. I get introduced to the concept of ranking. You know what I mean? They start, oh, your hat, your shoes, you know, and it's all friendly games, you know what I'm saying? And I'm included on it, you know? Oh, you don't speak English, you know? And I'm thinking like, oh, it's like an insult. So now they're hugging around me like, no, don't take that. You got talk about his shoes, tell him about his jeans, you know? And so it's like, it's a family thing. It's a love culture, you know, behind it. So that's really where it didn't really let me feel secluded, even when I was different, you know?
Did you go to school here?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
Yeah, I went to middle school here, high school here.
Like in Jacksonville?
In Jacksonville. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wilson High School. Shout out to Wilson High School.
Oh, not Wilson. I went to Inglewood.
Yeah. Oh, you went to Inglewood.
Were y'all rivals? That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
especially
funny.
with soccer too. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
We had a good
I'm playing
soccer team.
Yeah, we did too. Heck
We were probably better.
You know.
I'm about to have a little
I don't know
back
about that,
real
but
quick
we'll see.
before we get done with this episode, man. Y'all gotta throw on your old high school jerseys.
Inglewood and Wolfpack, yeah, for sure.
Wolfpack.
Represent. Gotta represent.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I never felt outside because, like I said, the culture and everything was always very welcoming and again, like I said, I gravitated to it, man. It's the same, bro. At the end of the day, we're all mirrors of each other, bro. And that's the thing. As I've grown and continue this journey of pursuing my dream and building this brand, I realized that, bro. I think a lot of things become easier because you realize that we're all really the same, bro. We're all really out here fighting for a dream. We all have the similar obstacles. You know, we're all mirrors of each other. So a lot of times it's easier to understand others when you look within, and it's like the same type of insecurity. They're the same type of, you know, things that you question. You know, you might have somebody that's not telling you those things, but they're questioning those two for themselves, you know? So the more you go within yourself and you understand, it's like you start understanding other people more.
Mm-hmm.
Florida has got to be one of the hardest places, I would think, to make the transition to Florida. You know what I mean? With things like ranking and when he said that at first, I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck's he talking about? I was like, ranking. I was like, what? And then I was like, oh my God, he's talking about ranking.
Yeah,
literally, he's
you
talking
get
about
ranked
I was like,
on.
holy
Yeah,
shit.
ranked
Like,
on,
dude,
100%.
oh, like that thing was so funny. I mean, that
100%.
was like what? That was, I guess, before roasting was roasting. It was ranking.
Yeah, it was ranking,
You know,
bro.
and God, dude, that shit's so funny. And it's just that story you used about that, how it's like that helped you kind of. I like how you're saying talk about his jeans, talk about his shoes, all that stuff. You're thinking about like, oh yeah, that could just fucking, you know. And it's got to be so
Just
much.
get 'em back.
Yeah, it's got to be funny as hell. Like for you. You don't really have to drop like the craziest, like really get somebody. You just got to call them out for something. They're like,
You
oh,
know?
you got by the fucking.
And honestly, too, it helped me like not take things so literal.
Yeah.
Because in the English language, sarcasm is a really big thing, and in Spanish, it's not as
It's like another branch
direct.
of
It's
our
like
language.
right, exactly. So like just hearing something like, oh, you know, rank the skin off his ass is like, wait, his skin, what's going on with his skin? You know, so like understanding that a lot of times it's like something might sound bold, but you know, it's all in the family of, you know, friendliness or whatever. Just so
Yeah,
very
man.
cool.
So, I want to go ahead and talk about. Do you have anything else on that about his background or anything like that? I mean, I think, dude, you got a pretty cool story, bro. I mean, we didn't know a lot about you before you came in, but that background is super dope, man. And you know, one of my favorite songs that you've made, we've gone through basically the whole catalog, is actually a Spanish song.
Yeah,
So before we got started, we were talking about there was the song. It was one of my favorite ones you dropped as well, but it was Memories Stay. Yeah, Memories Stay. I keep wanting to say Memories Fade. It's Memories Stay.
Memories Stay,
and
yeah.
that song is just so dope. The music video goes great with it, by the way. But which I like how they're all shot in Jacksonville too, which is really cool. I recognize like all the spots you're filming out. I'm like, this is sweet.
Yeah.
But that song, tell me a little bit about that, bro. So that's Sincero. That's my favorite one.
In Spanish?
Yeah. So the Spanish one is Sincero. The
English one is Memory Stay.
Memory Stay. I want to tell me a little about Sincero, man, because that one is.
Yeah.
I like the way you say that.
Yeah,
Sincero.
Sincero.
Like that. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you said it right.
Sincero.
Heck
Yeah.
Sincero. So Sincero is basically translation in English is sincere, to be sincere. It's just a story about a guy that, you know, likes a girl as more than a friend. They're currently friends, and he's got to be sincere to her. It's like, hey, I got to be sincere with you. I want more. You know, you and I both know you display different things. You know, you want it too, kind of thing. And it's like it's time that both of us are sincere with each other, and we just explore what this can be, kind of thing. So that's the concept of Sincero. Pretty fun video shot with Montana Shot You at the Skyway here in Jax.
That's dope.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's funny. I love that song. Like, just like I don't know anything you're saying. I don't know what any of it's about. I've got no idea what you were talking about. You could have just been like literally saying anything. I was fucking bobbing my head. I was like, this is fire. And then, but then it's cool. Like now hearing you explain it, it's like, oh yeah, that kind of does go with the video. The video does tell a lot about the song. Obviously, it's like you can tell it's like obviously a very romantic song. Yeah, it's a story. You know, everything's going along with it. But yeah, dude, that was a dope. That was
man. Thank
really
you, man.
Good song,
Thank
man.
You. And it's cool actually that you said I received that feedback. You know that you didn't really know what I was saying, but you were still kind of bumping to it. That's kind of something that I'm trying to bring to my art is is how can I mix that, you know, like I mentioned to you guys when I came here and I heard hip hop for the first time, it has that variety, those drums, the cadence of the flows, you know, how can I bring that, what I love about hip hop into that, you know, Spanish realm where it can still register to both spectrums. Spanish people that understand Spanish can understand the lyrics, but if you don't understand Spanish, you can still bop with the flow, which is what I love about hip hop as well. So kind of trying to bridge that gap a little bit with my art.
You definitely do. I mean, most of the Spanish music that we listened to was, you could definitely bop your head with it. And I mean, my personal favorite was just Sincero, but there was other ones that were kind of like, you know, I like those as well too. It is difficult knowing, like, if I didn't have the music video, it would be, I'd have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah. But it's like, I also listen to, you know, there's a lot of Bad Bunny in my phone. There's a lot of, when Drake did a couple of those Spanish tracks with, I know all those by heart. So it's like, I'm sitting there screaming that shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, you know? But it's just cool, man. It's like, I mean, obviously, if people know you as an artist, they know you're not out here talking shit or saying something that people wouldn't want to be saying as well. So it's like, it is pretty cool, man. You definitely, you lay it down on some of those beats, bro.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, and even the English ones, like Memories Stay, like what we were talking about, that shit was a banger.
At the end of the day, bro, like what I try to do is like just life experiences, man. It's really just kind of like testimonies, you know, either stories of things that I'm going through myself personally or people around me that are going through. It's like I mentioned to you, I really believe like we're all really mirrors of each other. So a lot of times I just try not to overthink the concepts and just kind of like, hey, something happened to you, and it helps you to release it on here in music form. And if it helps you release it here in music form, it's got to help somebody release it when they listen to it in music form also.
For sure.
So that's the goal.
Who are some of your idols, man? Like I want to hear a couple that are Spanish artists, but I want to hear some also like some English artists too, because I'd love to hear where you kind of get your influence from.
100%. Well, Spanish wise, there's a OG. I mean, a lot of people don't know him. He's not like urban music or anything, but his name is Ricardo Arjona. He's like let's say he's like a Marvin Gaye, like a Spanish Marvin Gaye kind of thing. So that's why, you know, you don't want to hear him on the radio, but he, you know, I call him like he's like my dad musically, just because he on his songs he talks about religion, politics. He finds a way to do it in a romantic way. And I remember like when I was little, I can remember my mom cleaning the house after a heartbreak, just bumping this guy's tape, you know, and he's really like hitting all the points that she's like, yes, that's what I mean. And, you know, and he's, you know, so
that's funny.
He has different records where, you know, he talks about, like I said, politics and difference of opinion and how to handle difference of opinion. So in a way, he's kind of teaching through the music as well, aside of it being good as well. So I gravitated a lot to that. And the fact that, like I said, you know, when a woman is going through a hard time, she could listen to that music and kind of feel empowered or get some type of energy back from it other than just playing a record. So I gravitated to that a lot. Ricardo Arjona, an inspiration for sure. For me, but then when I started getting into hip hop, I mean, bro, the Andre 3000s, you know, just poetic and melodic and intention behind, bro. Because for music is, I feel like even if you're making a song that's not about nothing, but there's intention, you know, it's like I feel like that intention is felt in that energy. So those type of artists that have that, Andre 3000 is one of them.
Do you like Kendrick?
I like Kendrick. Yeah, I like Kendrick. I was a real big like Drake fan too when he first started and stuff. When he was on MySpace stuff, yeah, he really changed it with the whole like still being able to be real and soft. Because in hip hop, it was like you had to be this hard thing. Like it was not. You couldn't even break into the doors of hip hop if you weren't that. So he kind of opened it up a little bit where you can be sincere, because that's really the biggest thing. One of the thing and. Isn't it Mental Health Month in May right now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like that's one of the biggest things. Like creatively, you have to be open with all of your emotions. And as a man, you know, we have more than just one emotion. So pushing one type of emotion, you know, it's a disservice. You know what I mean? Because, you know, people don't feel seen. You know, when you're pushing, you know, what if somebody's not feeling like that in that particular time? All of a sudden, it's like, oh, I'm a man that also feels like that, and it's okay because. You know,
I like that, bro. That's dope. And also, you were saying around just the time that you came to America, and like you're growing up, you're going through your teenage years and stuff. Drake is kind of the man.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of cool. Like that, Drake is always going to be that inspiration. I mean, that, you know, Drake, he does have his Marvin's Room phase and all these things, you know, people want to talk shit about. But in the end of the day, he's such a great guy to look up to as far as just like being yourself with this music shit, and not and also being ultra versatile. I mean, the dude has done like every type of music at this point. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's crushing it. Drake is definitely a good inspiration. Definitely one that I've always listened to, you know, for sure. And
I dove into Cole a lot. I like Kendrick, like I said too, but like I don't know, just certain things about the delivery and things like that. Like, you know, with J. Cole has like songs like Lights Please, you know what I mean? That song that he made about like, you know, the conversations between him and that girl, like she's about to have an abortion and he didn't want her to, like real life issues expressed in music form or that people can relate to, is something that I find pretty dope.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, man. You got anything on that?
Yeah, what about Kanye? How do you feel about Kanye?
Bro, Kanye was one of my first ones, actually. Yeah. Before Drake. You know, when he had that song with Jamie Foxx, Gold Digger. I mean, just so many different aspects of his art, from the way he takes his production to everything else. And honestly, I really respect his story too, because, you know, he had to break a lot of barriers on his own, in the sense of he wasn't really seen as an artist at first, you know? Yeah. He was just seen as this guy that was just producing, and you kind of stay over here producing. And he's like, no, I'm going to be what I'm going to be. And back to what you guys were talking about, fear, like that's kind of how I overcome my fear a little bit when I feel it bubbling up a little bit, like maybe getting a little nervous or whatever. It's like, bro, at the end of the day, you know, just like we're having a conversation now. Yeah. To me, that's what songs are. Mm-hmm. Songs are melodic conversations. You're just having a conversation. Genuine, bro. Yeah. And it's like, a lot of times you get so hung up on like, oh, are people going to like this? It's like, bro, sometimes you have conversations with your mom or with your girl or with a friend that you don't like those conversations, but they need to be had, you know? And not every conversation is going to be good. And if you didn't like this conversation, start a new one about a different thing. So you never run out of conversations. You're never going to run out of songs. You just keep creating, you know?
I like that a lot too, man. And, you know, I feel like, God, dude, there's got to be so many little aspects that go into obviously there's tons of aspects that go into making English music, but making Spanish music as well, flipping back and forth. Do you feel like there's a possibility to make, like, let's say, for example, you have a Spanish song. Yeah. Is it difficult to then translate that and turn it into an English song? Are the words that different to where it probably wouldn't sound near, obviously not a full, like, accurate translation?
Right. You know? I was going to say, I've seen a lot of artists that have done that, where they do that, like the accurate translations. I'm not too fan of the accurate translations. I feel like you can translate a record not so directly where it can still invoke the feeling and the emotion. So I think that's not difficult to do, but as long as you don't directly translate it. Because a lot of times they get so caught up on the lyrics, and it's like, it's the feeling, you know? So the lyrics can change in English, but the melody's the same and the feeling is the same, then you're good. Yeah. You know? So.
I love it, dude. It's so cool. It's gotta be cool being that, like, having that versatility and just being able to do a little bit of both.
Bro, I feel blessed, definitely.
Describe to me a studio session. So like what's your mood like in the studio? Is it just you and the producer? Is it you and the gang? You know what I mean? Are you rolling up? Are you pouring up? What's going on?
Definitely.
Bro? Like,
all of that going on, all of the above. But really a lot of times I record on my own. I pretty much have a studio set up, and a lot of times it's inspiration strikes me at different times, you know, and I really take that I really take that serious. You know, I don't like to play with that. So I like to have a setup where I can obviously do the things that I need to do when I need to do them. If it's 2 a.m. in the morning, I just had a weird dream and it just invokes something in me out, I need to get up and record it, put it down, you know, on a beat that I heard or something, or even if it means creating something from scratch, I'll do that too. But I also work with different people in the city as well. You know, we get together, we have sessions. A producer might come, like I mentioned earlier, Bangers might come over. He might have like a loop that he was working on, you know, where it's like a melody on there. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what if we throw this type of snare on there? And then it starts to kind of get live. And then before you know it, I might start humming something to it and lyrics. And before you know it, we were recording it. And now it's a song.
So dope, bro.
That's how it goes. But more so on that, I would say 90% of my catalog is is really just me venting, bro. Honestly.
Do you write your songs?
Yeah, all of my songs.
Okay.
Yeah, I love my songs. I'm definitely open to collaborating and working with different people, and I have already done that, where I've kind of wrote for some other people and things like that every now and again. But definitely, like I said, this music thing for me is a form of therapy. So I write it myself, for sure, for me and for others.
Yeah, dude, you crush it, bro. So you also put a lot of time into the video aspect.
Right.
One thing I think anybody that knows you or anyone that listens to your music knows that you've put some good hits out there for like music video wise. Like just the production. We've had so many artists on the show, dude. You look at some of these guys' music videos, you just know, you're like, okay, this was good, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like, you don't got the drone, you don't got the, all these different angles. You're not on like these, you're not going to different sets. You're probably just standing in like the corner of like a room or something,
Right.
But dude, you go all out, man. So I want to give you your flowers with that. But what was some of your favorite sets, some of your favorite shoots that you did for any of your videos?
Man, honestly, one of my favorite ones, really, the one we shot, I shot a video called Back and Forth with Film Rat a while back. It was one of my first videos. That one was one of my favorite settings just because of the way that he captured the back and forth with the female role in the video and myself. It was very real. Like, it was very about what the song was about. And I like those moments in film where the song and the film become one. The visual and the song become one, other than just the artist being in front of the camera or me being in front of the camera and just, performing the song or interpreting the song, but just really kind of getting to see it out, play out, kind of like the story of what the song is about and seeing it real time. That was one of my favorite moments. Memory Stay was a very fun shoot. Shout out to JG for that one. That shoot was great. We got to shoot it here at the different beach locations here. We used the drone shots as well, which were fun. That one was one of my favorites, and then the last one that I would say is the most memorable too was with Montana Shot. That one was here at the Skyview. And that one was pretty interesting because I had to get like some permissions from the city and everything. I did the whole thing. So we put this green screen behind the doors when the doors opened up, so that there was like these 3D flowers coming out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Of the door, and it kind of looks like the flowers are pouring out of the train. For the girl that that you're trying to give the flowers to, etc. But really, bro, the reason I put so much into it, bro, is because people see that, and that's how I digest music. Like at the end of the day, it's kind of like I make stuff that I would like to digest myself, and the things that I look at that I like to digest is what I want to put out, visually, musically. It's kind of like when you're going by and there's a coffee shop, or maybe there's like a guy with like a little coffee thing outside, maybe he has a mug, or you go to the gas station coffee, for example, and it's like, it's been sitting there, and then you just squeeze it out. It is nice, accessible, efficient coffee, and it's still coffee. But then you go to Starbucks, or you go to one of those mom shop coffee shops that are like, they got the barista in there, and then you see them like pump it and mix it, and they're doing like, and they're putting effort into it, and you can taste that.
Oh, for sure.
You can taste that quality. So quality has always been a big thing for me, and a lot of times it's kind of like, if this deserves a certain kind of quality, then let's wait until we have that, and let's put it out when it has that quality, because that's what's gonna be understood. If you just put it out any kind of way, it shows how you see your art, how you see yourself.
Do you direct all your videos?
The majority of them I have. Pretty much.
Yeah,
I work hand in hand with the director a lot. Obviously, it's a collaborative process, but it's very important for me that the message is captured for the record, and it's not just another video.
Yeah, man. Shout out to you. You're crushing it, bro. Joey, anything else on that?
Yeah, not really on that, but I wanted to touch back on you writing your songs. Say you're writing one in Spanish.
Yeah.
Is there ever do you ever run into trying to include like English rules in the song? Grammatically, you know what I'm saying?
I hear you. Definitely. Like I said, that's a big inspiration. The metaphors, the flows. I feel like that's one of the things that sets me apart a little bit on the Spanish, is that I'm so heavily influenced on the flow from hip hop and like that variety that I do that. I use that in my writing, you know. So even though the lyrics are in Spanish, a lot of the ways that I kind of compound,
from English,
like compound the phrases together, and on the delivery is very American, really.
That's cool. That's cool. That's really dope. And that's that's what we were talking about before, is with like that versatility, being able to know 2 different languages. Have you ever made a song that is like a little bit of both? You got some like English bars and some Spanish bars.
Definitely, and that's coming out in the tape in July in the EP. Definitely got a lot of experimental things like that, where you're gonna hear the Spanish kind of vibe on there, but you're gonna feel like the English mood as well. And there's gonna be a little bit of switch. There's gonna be some features as well, where the record is in Spanish, and then you'll have a English verse, from a Jacksonville artist or somebody else. So stay tuned.
What's
coming on the way?
This is kind of off topic, but what kind of chicks are you going for, man? Is it
what?
No, look, what is it? I'm just curious. Are you going for he's been in both places.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you were very young when you were in Colombia, but I'm sure you still can, Hispanic chicks. Like,
I thought we didn't talk about chicks.
Hey, it's like, I'm so curious, bro. Like, come on, man. What chick's your type, man? You like the Hispanic chicks? You like the English chicks?
Man, honestly,
or American, I should say. I guess English would be referring to like Britain and shit, I guess.
Heck yeah. Honestly, for me, I don't think it's really from where they're from. It's like the essence and how they carry themselves.
Good
for
answer.
Me.
Great answer.
Good answer.
It was either that or I
the
like
chicks
them all.
that just dove into your DM from that answer, dude. Money.
Oh man. No, but seriously, man.
That
honestly,
was good. Oh this ain't his first podcast, that's for sure.
Man, I'm telling you. No, definitely, bro. Like I said, I mean, I had very strong women all around me growing up. I mean, like I told you, my grandmother crossed the border by herself,
right?
Desert for days. Got here with no plan, no money in her pocket. Got a job at McDonald's. You know what I mean?
God, dude, that's crazy.
Worked her way up from a cleaner to this. Then she started working at a doctor's office. Then got her citizenship, paid her way through school, and to make sure that she was able to get that, the paperwork right and everything. And
that is such a hustle.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, shout out to her,
she could have got everybody through the same way she came. Right. But after she experienced that, she said, "I'm not putting them through that." And she went the long road and said, "I'm gonna do this right. I'm gonna do the paperwork. I'm gonna get y'all over here."
What a great woman!
Incredible, dude. Yeah, shout out to her, man. Yeah. She deserves the fucking world for that, bro.
Trying to give it to her right now, man.
And clearly, well, yeah, dude. I mean, you're crushing it, man. And it's cool because it's always great to have like people like that in your life, bro, that have made sacrifices and done certain things. It just kind of makes you deep down. It really does make you who you are. I mean, when you can see those sacrifices, because a lot of people, they just grow up and they're in a household that there's really no sacrifices that they have to make, or it's just a very comfortable lifestyle, things like that. You get kind of lost. You don't really know about like making sacrifices or being in hard times or anything like that. And you find that the stronger people in the end of the day are the people that are making more creative stuff, or the people that are just kind of hustling harder, or kind of putting their foot down a little bit harder, or the ones that have kind of seen
that challenge,
bro, or just any kind of like struggle, And shout out to you. It definitely is it reflects in your music how much you care about this shit,
bro. Thank you.
Through these sacrifices,
Yeah, you can't shy away from the struggle, also, or run away from it in a way. Like sometimes, do you know how lobsters grow? Have you seen that? Like how
they molt their shell, don't they?
Right. So like a lobster, it grows a shell and stuff, but the shell doesn't grow, but the lobster keeps growing, right? And eventually, they get uncomfortable in that shell because they're growing inside, but the shell's not growing anymore. So they go into hiding. They let go of that shell, start building a new shell, right? Now they're evolving. Now they feel confident. Now they feel secure in that shell.
And they're bigger.
And they're bigger, but the shell is bigger too now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because they let go of it. But a lot of times we try to like suppress that pain so quickly. When we're uncomfortable, man, I'm uncomfortable. I want to take it off. And I think a lot of times that's what prevents us from growing, because like imagine the lobster had a doctor that he could go to. And the minute he starts feeling uncomfortable in the shell, like, oh my God, I'm growing too much, he just goes and gets a prescription, like, I'm not feeling good. Or like, make this go away. Or he goes to the bar, alcohol, or he does this, and it's like, now I feel good in the shell. Where's the incentive to grow, to get better.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like, I know things can be uncomfortable, but I feel like sometimes when things in my life get uncomfortable like that, I know that it's it's my growth. I'm growing.
You grow through what you go through,
and I don't fit in the shell no more.
Going through anything,
you can't grow. Exactly.
Amen.
Amen.
Holy, you like that one?
Yeah, bro.
He's been stashing that one away. I'll tell you what, dude. That was in the notes for sure. For sure.
If I look at the notepad right now,
I was rehearsing it this morning.
Just staring in the mirror, like, you grow through what you go through. You grow through what you go through.
Yeah.
No, you killed
but
that.
That's it. In a nutshell, man. That's it. It's like not shying away from those things that are like uncomfortable, and it's like when it's uncomfortable, man, push through it or take it as a sign. Take it as a sign that you're growing and good things are coming, and just push through it.
Embrace growth, embrace failure, embrace just being, just living your life, dude.
Yes.
And like, life is so short. And we've had so many guests on here where, we've had older guests, we've had younger guests, we've had all kinds of people. And it's funny because sometimes the older guests that we've had on the show, some of the doctors, some of the just, older people they've got more drive than some of the younger people because they recognize these things. You know what I mean? They've lived more and they understand sacrifice, and they understand it's just like, just get after it.
Get after it. Just do it.
Yeah, man. So how about we get into me and Joey's favorite segment of the week?
Whoop, whoop.
Win of the week. Yes, sir.
I always go first, so you go first this time.
All right, I'll go first.
Your win of the week.
My win of the week is basic, man, but this episode wouldn't have happened without my win of the week. Okay. So shout out to the man himself, Donnie Blow. He's been on the podcast twice. We actually are kind of in the works with making something happen with him right now. We're doing...
Did that happen this week? Because win of the week.
So I did talk to him this week.
Okay.
This project that we're working on right now for the podcast, it will be a new... Not segment, it'll be a new form of content that we're going to be putting out. So y'all stay tuned for that. Shout out Donnie Blow. Just wanted to, we've been talking all week. He's superstar, man. And
he just dropped the tape too.
I
just dropped the tape.
He did just drop a tape. So shout out to him. Go check that shit out, man. Go download everything you got to do, man. Support the boy. Everything he puts out is obviously great quality.
Dope quality.
But this episode wouldn't have ever happened without him, man. Because I mean, it could have, but there's so many people every day that are reaching out to us to try to get on the pod. There's people that are reaching out, which don't stop reaching out, by the way. We're not saying to stop reaching out, but I'm just saying, it is so difficult to like make these connections happen and make a guest come in here. And so whenever a guest kind of mentions a name or says something to me, and I can kind of just like put in my phone right then and there and make it happen, makes it very easy. And I do trust Donnie's judgment. I do trust Donnie's judgment with a lot of this stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, man, shout out to him. Shout out to you for coming on in here. And, but yeah, that would have a very simple win of the week this week.
I like
it was a chill week. It was rainy. You know what I mean? Nothing really too crazy happened. I've already shouted out the rain before, waking up in the rain. So, what's your win of the week?
My win of the week it's the Soul Food truck that I ate at yesterday.
Ooh.
On Friday. Yeah, it was really good.
No free shout out, but free shout out.
Free shout out.
So Soul Food, it's called Soul Food Truck.
It's called, it's a Soul Food truck.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's two older ladies in there running it. They were great women. I don't know. They were just good vibes.
Cooking that shit.
We had
right.
a good talk.
You could tell.
Yeah. I got it was chicken wings, mac and beans.
Oh my gosh.
That's so good.
Dude, that sounds amazing. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So rate it 1 out of 10.
10.
Okay, because see, here's the thing: is with food trucks, food trucks can go either way for me. Because you gotta kind of think in your head. It's like it's a food truck. They don't have all the equipment to make everything.
Food trucks scare me.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. 100%.
But like it was the only thing there, and it went great. So that's my win of the week.
Dude, shout out to Soul Food Trucks, bro. That's fucking dope, man.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Dvid,
my win of the week. Honestly, the win is I wouldn't say of the week, but just kind of going for it. I mean, it led me here to the show, also to this episode. Just building. Don't wait till you have it all together. Just go. You know? A lot of the opportunities and things that have opened up for me now are because of, I guess, investments that I did before in relationships. Like just being in the studio with bangers, met Donnie. Working with Matt Sounds that you interviewed here too, name dropped me as well. Just different people and different relationships, I guess. Just don't wait till you have it all together, till you think you're at this level that you think you need to be, and just go for it. just go for it, because there's going to be so many things that come from it, even things you don't expect.
Amen, bro.
Or plan for. So
Amen.
I think that would be my week of the year, really, my win of the year.
Yeah,
real.
hell yeah, dude. So what's your who would be your dream feature? Let's say you could have you could either feature on anybody's song, or you could have them feature on your song. Dream
Pick wise,
feature.
because we could make this happen.
No,
We could make this
100%. Oh man, that's. I mean, obviously a Drake feature would be crazy.
Life-changing.
Okay, I can't make that happen.
Just
Okay,
because
a little more doable, please.
definitely. But there's a lot of people here too that that I would love to work with. That like the Bryson Tillers. I really like Russ.
You like Russ? Thank you.
Yeah, I like
People
Russ.
hate on Russ,
And
man.
no, I like Russ, man, because he really made his own lane.
Yeah.
And whether you like a lot of the songs or not, like I think a lot of people get too caught up on that. It's like at the end of the day, what are you doing with it? You don't have to like every single thing, but he's building something. He's making a way independently. You know what I mean?
He has so much music out. It's crazy.
And he believed in it.
Yeah.
He believed in it and made it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't hate on that, bro.
100%.
Even if you don't have to like the music, but if somebody's building a brand and it's a successful brand, what is there to hate about that?
Right.
It's
You're just a hater at that point. I mean,
You know
come
what I
on,
mean?
Bro, I'll tell you what, man. Haters, if you don't got haters, you ain't popping.
You know what I'm saying?
100%. That's straight up,
That's how
bro.
it
If
is.
you don't got haters, you're doing something wrong, bro.
Heck
And
yeah.
everybody, you got a bunch of like yes men around you, bro.
No
Like
lie.
in reality, it's like you even got to have people around you that can tell you, what they think, give you their opinion of what they think you could be doing better, whatever it is. And that's not haters. Those are like people that are really telling you like what you should improve. And then you got these people that are out here hating, and those are
Just
people
dogging
you just ignore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
honestly, that's kind of like the fun part about it. You know what I mean? It's like having haters and having people like talk shit. I mean, dude.
I've seen your haters on a TikTok, dude. And I love your
it's
comment
like-
back because you just say thanks for the engagement.
Neutral. Yep.
Always.
Because I mean, they're
always.
commenting. That's,
Neutral.
That's
Dude,
engagement.
we've had posts before
Oh,
where
damn, bro, my bad. I don't mean to interrupt you, but before I forget, just because she's also from Colombia and you asked me who I want to do a feature with, Kali Uchis is one of my.
I love her.
She's on my list, and I can't believe I didn't even mention her. Kali Uchis is one of them because she's from Colombia, and she pretty much did that bridge that I work on doing too. She does music in English. She was born in Medellin, like she's from Colombia also.
Wow.
So she pushes that culture heavy, and she has records with Tyler. You know what I mean?
That's
I didn't know she was
awesome.
from Colombia.
Yeah,
That's
she's
cool.
from Colombia.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so definitely her. Don Tolliver, I like a lot of the stuff he's doing.
oh, dude, Don
you know.
Tolliver, that's a sleeper. I like him too.
Yeah.
I'd love to get him on the pod, bro. He's got a cool
Definitely.
little story.
Oh man, yeah, he was here. He was here in Jax actually when what was the concert that he Future? I think was it Future? No, yeah, I think it was Future.
Real? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it was a little bit ago,
It was
but
a little bit
I
ago,
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Dude, that would have
yeah.
been sweet,
Yeah,
bro.
it was
Yeah,
super dope.
there's a ton of artists that pass through the city, man. That I'd love to get on the pod one day, bro. And hey, it all starts with forming that, doing that groundwork of getting great guys like yourself and Donnie, all these other good guests that we've had on the show, and I value these genuine conversations so much, man, and just kind of diving deep into the mind of different people and kind of just pinpointing certain things that you've learned and lessons you'd like to take along with you along the way and stuff like that.
Okay. And what you guys are doing here too, man, like I respect it a lot because it's real, it's genuine and it comes from a place of care and it shows,
Thank you, bro.
For sure.
We have no notes. We have no plan.
Exactly.
It's literally just like we
All
sit
off the
down,
dome.
all off the dome,
Yeah.
bro. Because I mean, that's how genuine conversations happen. What I wanted to do was record. Before this would have happened, me and you might have been friends, and you would just come over to the pad, and we would just all hang out, chill, maybe play some video games, fucking just like kick it,
Exactly.
And just some of the conversations me and Joey would have just out there in the ocean on the golf course, like hanging out at the crib. It's like I'm like these need to be recorded, bro. I was like these are dope.
Someone
So,
could benefit off of these. For
yeah,
sure.
and even if we only got one listener per episode for the rest till the end of time, bro. It's like we don't do this for the views or the numbers or anything like
Exactly.
that. We're doing this because we love this shit, bro.
And I love
for you.
my favorite part is meeting new people.
Amen,
There's so
bro.
many people I never thought I'd get to meet, and
And people don't realize we're kind of building this little network of like a bunch of like-minded people,
Bro.
And very soon, we've got some plans to kind of tie the knot on.
it's gonna
on
be
something.
good.
No,
Don't say too much.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna leak nothing, but you know how it goes, man. We're always got something in the works that people
Exactly.
aren't really aware of, and it's so fun to. Plot behind the scenes, if you will.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, man, we got some shit popping. So, keep rocking with us, keep hanging in there. The episodes get better every single week. Joey, give us a good one to end it out here. Unless you got anything, brother. Obviously, we got to talk about new projects you got.
In July, coming out a new project. But I was gonna add to that that last piece that you just said about meeting new people and everything. I feel like that's really how you live forever. Because you got to think about it. Like, think about how much time you've spent in your life, however old you are, and all the memories and everything that you've learned, right? And you meet somebody, like, look, how long has this episode been? We're 40 minutes, an hour into it, whatever it is, and all of a sudden it's like, you guys just got a summary of my years.
Yeah.
And now that's added on to you for however long this was. And then when you meet somebody else, and it's like, before you know it, when somebody asks you how old you are, you could be 300 years old because of the people you've met.
Dude, we're like,
you know what I mean?
20 grand. Right now, okay. Bro. Like, with all that, every week we learn a whole new life.
Exactly, man.
Yeah,
so get out there, man. Form relationships, meet people, like, let it open your mind. A lot of times, our limitations come from our direct surrounding and the people that are surrounding us. And sometimes it's just us getting around a different environment and different people. And all of a sudden the world opens up for us. So
hell yeah, man. Shout out to you, bro.
Don't be scared to talk to people.
100%, dude. Literally just open up, bro, and just be yourself, dude. And you never know what someone could take away from just simple things, bro. Like, it's funny how we have certain guests come on the show and people message us after the show, and it'll be certified OG or just someone that listens to it, and they're like, "Oh, I love that point you made about da 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 or about this," and you're like,
and it was literally like the most random thing.
And I'm like,
it's nothing to us.
Yeah, we didn't even ask him that question.
It wasn't like a highlight or something.
Yeah, it's funny, man. So you never know, even the smaller things about a conversation people take away from it too. So it's especially with a platform like this where you've got people that can listen from all the way back from where you're from or all the way, on the other side of the planet. It's like people can tap in. So
definitely.
Yeah, dude, love it, man. So Joey, I want you to close us out with a banger. One last question for the man himself.
What's up? You want me to ask?
I want you to ask him.
Oh, man.
Come on. You were sitting there waiting. He's like, all right, go ahead.
The last question.
The last question. Well, last episode, I was like, Joey, give us one last question. You hit him with like a great one, bro. Remember, it was Jesse.
Yeah,
Farrell.
I was thinking on that one. But let me, hold on. I got one. Where is, if you were to travel anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Whoa. That's hard. The world's a big place, man.
It's huge.
Huge. Man, to be quite honest, man, I like to travel to those places that have kind of like limited access to technology. Not because I like to run away from technology or nothing like that, but like I've gone to DR a couple times, Dominican Republic, and there's like these places where you just really get to disconnect, bro, because you have no option, and then all you have is like nature and the elements.
You go to one of those islands that have the tribes that like literally don't see humans? Would you try that?
I don't know if I would risk my life all the way over there just because they're not very welcoming, and I'm sure they would do more than just ranking. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure they would do all that. They would actually
you're gonna be put on a rank.
Right. So I probably wouldn't take the risk with that, but really honestly, I love nature, bro. Like I really connect with it, like the energy that's out here, bro, the pulse of the earth and everything, bro. It's like we're all connected to that. So any opportunity that I get, wherever it is, whether it's in a remote place in DR or, I really want to go to Africa, bro. I really want to go to Africa.
If there were some people that back home in Colombia where you're from, you got to get in contact with some of your old friends or whatever, and they ask you, give me one word to describe Jacksonville.
Hot.
It's hot, boy.
In every way,
boy.
in every way, literally. Yeah.
I like that, bro. I like that.
The women, the everything.
Yeah, it's rad, bro.
The weather.
The music. There's a ton of good artists that come out here. The crime, for sure. Boy. Yeah, the pistols right here, hot boy.
Hot boy.
For real, man. I love it. So, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up, man. So, if you guys are listening to this on Spotify, like we say every single episode, make sure you hop on over to YouTube. At least give this episode a like, man. If you're not subscribed to the podcast on YouTube, we don't just drop podcast episodes over there. That's one thing that's kind of a misconception. And you're about to find out all the cool things that we're dropping within these next coming weeks as we wrap up some of our projects we're working on. But yeah, the OG Sessions YouTube is a whole variety of different content that we offer over there. We've already got one bonus episode up along with all the other visual episodes that we have. So yeah, man, so definitely go over there, check that out, show love. If you are listening to this on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, Stitcher, everywhere, Patreon, whatever, make sure you give us that 5-star rating. Make sure you give us that thumbs up. Make sure you comment if you can. Show love, Joe.
Share it with your friends.
Thank you. Share it with the friend, man. Share it with the homie. Share it with your mama, dude.
Share it with your mama.
For real. And I mean, come on, do it for Joey's mullet.
Please.
I mean,
please.
Just if you can't think of a comment, there's people. Look at that thing, man. It looks great.
Thank you.
Very strong mullet coming. I
appreciate you.
So that's. I'll tell you what, man. Is if you can't think of something to comment, if you're sitting there and you're kind of stuck, you're like, I want to say something, I want to sound weird, whatever. The podcast is so cool. I want
rank on my mullet.
Rank on the mullet. I was gonna say give a compliment about the mullet, but you can just roast that bit too.
A compliment, but if you want to rank, not everybody likes to take it.
That's the true Florida thing to do, I guess.
Yeah. Amen, dude. Yeah, make us feel most at home, I guess. So, yeah, man. Shout out to the boy Dvid coming through.
Yeah, make sure you guys get that tape that I'm dropping in July, man. A lot of new music in there. A lot of people from the city. Some features from the city will be on there as well.
And then you were talking. You also dropped a full English tape a couple of months ago, right?
Oh, the full English tape was my first tape that I dropped a couple years ago.
Oh, okay,
that one's available, called Perspective. 7 records on all streaming platforms. But this new one that's coming out in July, man, definitely be on the lookout. It's gonna be a lot of new vibes, a lot of present day Dvid, so I'm looking forward to it. Very excited, bro.
So we're gonna end this episode a little bit differently. This guy's got. I'm just such a huge fan of not just your music, but also the music videos. So in the past, we've done the episode where we'll just hit the song and we'll all be sitting here kind of bopping our heads doing our thing. But your music videos describe the song so well, and we do have a ton of English listeners and things like that. And I feel like, what better thing to do than just run the video right here, man? Because
let's do it.
I want to give these people a taste, man. So yeah, that'll do it for this week's episode of the OG Sessions podcast. Joey, thank you for being here. Dvid, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Nick Usher from the OG Sessions HQ.
Yes, sir.
We are out.
Peace.
Sabes que te soy sincero. ¿Cómo vamos a ser amigos sabiendo lo que queremos? Sabes que te soy sincero. ¿Cómo vamos a ser amigos sabiendo lo que queremos? Aspiraciones que de la gente me cree bandolero. ¿Pa' dónde vas, mujer, con tanta prisa? Vamos pa' la playa, pa' la brisa. Como aquella noche en Ibiza. Si quieres nos casamos pa' la visa. Tienes de esa energía que hipnotiza. Cuando entra ya la disco paraliza. Y eso con solo tenis y camisa. Pa' hacer pizarrón, mami, tengo la tiza. Sin dar el antes de 12 ya me hechiza. Ya entiendo que inspiró a Da Vinci a ser la Mona Lisa. Te dicen la mentira pero nada garantizan. Oh, yo veo como tú le gastas tiempo a eso feo, que te tratan como si fuera un trofeo. Vamos de aventura de esa como Romeo. Y yo te propongo, yo creo que mejor que juegues el chance del sorteo. Todo en privado, sabes que no posteo. Siempre lista como tú dices pa'l teteo. Sabes que te soy sincero. ¿Cómo vamos a ser amigos sabiendo lo que queremos? Aspiración a normal, gente me cree bandolero. ¿Pa' dónde vas, mujer, con tanta prisa? Vamos pa' la playa, pa' la brisa. Como aquella noche en Ibiza. Todavía recordando lo que hacía. Tú sabes que ese cuerpo es poesía para mí. Poesía. Contigo me gané la lotería. Desatrasemos el cuaderno, ponte al día. Hasta por larga distancia le daría pa' bajar bellaquería. La rirara. Entre sábanas desnuda en mi cama. Desahoga las heridas bajo ganas. Enloquece en tu cadera de gitana. Rota marihuana, lazo. Suelta la atadura que tú crees que eso es falso. Con ellos no eres la que eres, eso es raro. Dejo de importarme lo que piensan hace rato. lazo. Suelta la atadura que tú crees que eso es falso. Con ellos no eres la que eres, eso es raro. Dejo de importarme lo que piensan hace rato. Así es que te soy sincero. ¿Cómo vamos a ser amigos sabiendo lo que queremos?